Welcome back, guys. I am Frey and you're watching Frey0XD. Now, today, let me suppose that you have moved toward Linux. And now when you have moved toward Linux, you have seen like those cool stuff, those videos that you can take control of everything in your hands. When you are in Linux, you got a freedom. You can even use like open sources, more than like only open sources in here, and you can customize everything according to your need, according to your work. But in that case, you have like something you want to just monitor or just spy on your CPU RAM in Linux. So in this video we are going to see that how you can do it. And if you have a Raspberry Pi or like a server data, so in that case we always have to just monitor our CPU and RAM, and just by doing this in Linux, it just make your work so easy. Because when I have a Raspberry Pi, I always want to see like how many RAM it is using and where it is using, in which application, so I can just monitor them all. Now I'm using this htop command, and if you are using like a Debian based, then it's like just go sudo apt get installed htop, or like this, only this command, and htop will be installed. And if you are using arch based Linux, then it's like sudo pacman then sflag and htop. So it's easy. But is this the only way you can just monitor your RAM? I know it's kind of fancy way and everyone use htop nowadays, but let me go some back, like when just Linux just started and what we can do. So Linux have like plenty of commands. You can go and monitor your CPU and RAM, so like your memory. So I will just show you in this video. Let me just go and really minimize this. Why I have this? Okay, so this must be cool. Like now it's okay. You can see everything. So this is htop, and I don't want to use it now. Well, you can use it, it's on you, but I want to show you some of the commands. And like in Linux, if you go to like your root directory, so this is what I want to show you in this video. This is proc, your directory or procedure. So if you go and cat out, this got all the information about your CPU. So don't have to worry about it. Now see, just if I write only cat, which means I'm just reading this file, and processes, and then CPU information. Now it will just give me an output of my CPU information. Now I can see and read everything all day long, and I don't have any things to do. So I can just go and read this all the stuff because I don't have any life, and that's it. I want to just waste my time. Okay, sorry, I'm just kidding. So I will show you alternative way to do that. If you are a busy person or you have a short amount of time, you want to just go and just see like what is your maximum megahertz speed and something like that. Okay, so like this, now you have to go and just search it out for in this command and like see what is happening in here. Now that's cool, but is there any alternative way in Linux? Yeah, there is always an alternative way in Linux. So that is like ls cpu and just go on. Well, wow, we have this now, and this is in a systematically way, and we can just see how many CPUs we have. Only 2. Oh, it's time to just buy a new CPU, I think. Well, yeah, just don't laugh on me on this one. Oh, please donate so I can just have more CPU, more cores. You can also see this in above one. I have like CPU core somewhere here. Yeah, here we go. So there's the same thing, but I think this is kind of like systematically way. And why I prefer like using ls CPU, because I can grab everything. If I want like only CPU, then I can just use this and this pipe operator and grab it out, and then CPU, and here you go. Now I have all the information about CPU. If I only need like maximum, so I can just write maximum. Oh, sorry about that. And there you go. If I need like minimum megahertz, what is going on inside my CPU, so I can have this. Now just me clean out all the mess in here. Now you know like how to reach that directory and see your all the CPU information, but is this is the only way you can see all the things? No, well, there is instead like there is another way to like DMI types, and which is basically demi decode. If you don't about this, if you don't know about this, then you can have this or manual pages for this one, and go and just read about it. You will have some DMI table decoder. So this is kind of like full form, and you can just go in here and read every switches you want. And this also have hreg. Okay, but in this case I'm gonna use it with a argument which is having a switches T and 4. There are many DMI types. You can go and Google it out. I don't even remember those all, but this will just pull out the information of a component. So in this case, like wait, and you also need a sudo mode in this one. So well, just go and have this. So in this case, like this -T4 is for the CPU. We can replace the 4 with the processor for the same effect, so don't worry about this. And just hit enter and just put your password, and there you go. You got all the information about your CPU. Now you can just read it all day long if you want to read and have, and you can know about your hardware and everything if you want to know. Now enough of CPU. Now we also want to check out our RAM. Now how to check your RAM in Linux? Well, there is very good command for this, and it is free command. If you go and just see this command, it will give you this type of numbers, and you will be worried about what are these, I guess. What are these? This is in which form? So it's in kilobytes, and don't worry about that. You can just use like mswitch for this, and it will be in gigabytes, so you can just read it, or just using hflag, which will be like human readable form. Now you can see it will be like gigabytes and then megabytes and whole thing. Now you can just read it out. So this is kind of simple, and well, you can also have a manual pages for this. Just for this, write man in front of a command, and you will be in this manual pages. User commands, and you have all the switches in here like options. Well, they call it options, but it's kind of like easy to call them switches. And so yeah, here we have the same command we have used earlier, which is like a h switch, and it will just give like how humans read. We humans are reading it. Now don't ask me, like you will say, is this the only way to read it out? No, this is not the only way you can have. You can just go and spy on your RAM. There are also some ways, because I have told you this. This is kind of important when it comes to your CPU and RAM and your hardware information and what are the processes going on. So for that, just have cat it out. Now we are not gonna check our CPU information. In this time, we are gonna check our memory. So there you go. We have all the information about memory, like mem total and mem free, and it's also have like caches, I think. Yeah, here we go. So activate and all the things. I don't even know what these things are, but I will go and just Google it out. Or I'm not gonna do that. I'm kind of too lazy to just go and read about all this stuff, because I don't think these are kind of necessary one. You have to just go and read it out all long. But now, as we have seen all the things here, now this is the only things I want to show you. Like instead of using htop, like htop is cool. Like yeah, really, it give you like a colorful scheme on a terminal, and you can just see, and have information at a glance and just open htop and you can see like how your CPU's speed is and RAM usable and network bandwidth and all the things. So but if you really wants to be a good in Linux, so you also want to learn those commands. So I think that's all about this video. I don't even have anything to say in this. I just want to show you that commands, but you can also go with ByPyTorch and this like bpytorch, like people do say. I don't have like bpytorch in here. Is kind of like cool and like but I will just make another video on this one. But go and just check out about bpytorch. I don't use that. So let me just clean it out all the mess. Now I will start like doing my C programming again because I got my data structure and algorithms exam tomorrow. Or maybe I should just go and shut down it now and have some little nap. So bye, I will see you in the next video, and that's all for this one. Go and pause it out now.
Straight from the underworld, coming for the underground. Motherfuckers better watch out from the male house. I never been the motherfucking game that you all down.